Alright, hello baritone players. Welcome to your new music classroom. This is how we're going to be working over the next little bit. I will have just spoken to some of you on Zoom before recording this video. This is what we are going to do. I am going to record a 15-ish minute video of me working specifically on your instrumental techniques so that we can take this time to develop you into a better instrumentalist. This is something that's actually incredibly valuable because I don't have the time as a teacher to do this during a normal school schedule, and it gives me a chance, instead of having to spend 40 minutes of a class addressing all of you individually, and each of you only gets a minute and a half then, to be able to take this time to record specific videos on your instrument so that we can spend time teaching you how to practice, why you need to practice, how it helps you, and cover the new music so that we can all be responsible for making our own puzzle piece before getting back and putting it all together. So, every practice needs to start with a couple things. For brass, it's buzzing. So, you're going to take your mouthpiece. I'm going to make sure I have the foundation. Do. You're going to take your mouth first, tighten the corners of your mouth, press your lips together really hard, like you're eating something sour, and push a single stream of air through there and get this sound. Now, I don't think I've had you do this in class before. I have had you work with the mouthpiece, but this is the one step harder, right? Most people think that the buzz comes from the mouthpiece itself, but as you just saw, the buzz actually comes from your lips. The mouthpiece has very little to do with it other than amplifying it. You can play different notes just on your buzz on your lips. Much less than you can play with the mouthpiece, but it proves the point. So, if you're having trouble making that sound, start with a raspberry, where you do this. Now pause me and laugh, because that's great. Do it yourself, get the chuckles out, and then unpause me when you're ready to do this and not chuckle. Once you're doing that, while you do that, I want to tighten your lips while you are doing the raspberry, and that will end up in a buzz. Watch. Might be a little spitty, so get a little Kleenex out there and do that. Don't do it while you're facing someone. And then once you have that, do it in the mouthpiece. And because you're a low brass player, aim for that low B flat. Do. That's it. So you're going to spend the first couple minutes of your practice buzzing on your lips, buzzing on your mouthpiece. Then you're going to tune. There are a bunch of different tuner apps out there. It truly doesn't matter which one you use as long as you are using a tuner. I'm using one in my app Fourscore. You do not have to get this app. This app is just for sheet music and annotation, so do not worry about it. But I'm going to play my concert B flat. I can tell I'm pretty sharp, so I'm going to adjust. Always know that at the beginning, brass will always be a little sharp until you've actually warmed up the physical instrument. So I'm about 10 cents sharp, but that's workable, right? For the sake of this, just our practice, it is fine. Then you will go to either the internet or to an app store and you will download a metronome. This metronome will be your best friend. It is going to help you keep accountable for how long you play, how you play, what tone you play with. This exercise is long tone playing. So you're going to play 8 beats of your concert B flat, your B flat, and then rest for 8 beats, and then play 8 beats of C, and then rest for 8 beats, and play 8 beats of D, all the way up your scale from B flat to high B flat. This I'll demonstrate. Pause me when you think you have the idea, go back to the beginning of this and play along with me. We're only going to go up the scale this time. Ready? 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 8 beats each note all the way up. Notice how much I focused on tone. You want your note to start, end, and stay in the same place the whole time you're playing it. I don't want a note to sound like this. Right? You don't want your note to be turbulent. You know, turbulence on a plane is bad. You do not want your note to have the same experience as flying to a very turbulent plane. We want it straight. So, do or sol. That kind of quality. That's the quality of note you need to get. It's going to be hard to get. The two things you're going to run into as a low brass player immediately are that playing a note for 8 beats when it's low might be a little hard for your lungs. That's something your lungs need to get better at. Your lungs are a muscle. They will develop. And then 2, being able to not crack and not vibrato during your note is going to be something to work on. Work on that. That is part of the assignment. The other part is learning measures 1 through 33 of our new piece, Air and Dance. Now, let me just double check on something before launching into this. I do not believe there's a dedicated euphonium part to this. There is not. So, euphonium players, you will be playing the baritone BC part for this. I might eventually move you over to the tuba part, but we do not have instruments that can reach the range of a tuba. So, euphonium players just stick on here and do the exact same thing. The only difference is that your instrument's going to sound a little bigger and a little rounder. The range is the same. So, right off the bat, first thing you can notice is that this is not the key of B flat. This is the key of E flat, which means that normally your B is flat, we know that, your E is flat, yes, and then your A is flat. Your A is your second to last note in this scale, right? It is, right? Your A is your middle finger normally. When it is an A flat, it needs to just be your first valve. So match that note on the high A flat. And then the same note down an octave, same fingering, match this. Every A you see in this piece, wherever it is, and there's not an A in the section we're playing right now, but it will be an A flat, not an A natural, because of the key signature. So, other things we can tell straight off the bat. We play a lot of the same note. Play a lot of that C, right? So, the other thing you can notice is your dynamic. Does this look like a melody to you? Probably not. It's a whole bunch of the quarter notes, and most of them are the same. So with piano, you are playing softly. You are playing tenuto. These little black lines underneath every note means that they're smooth and connected. So you do not play like this. Right? That's staccato or accent. This is what it should sound like. Right? As lightly tongued between every note as possible. Now, I will play from measure 1 to measure 33. I am going to play with my tablet vertical, facing the TV so I can actually see my part. At about 80 beats per minute, which is andante. You should practice about 80 beats per minute. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. So, as you can see from that, it's a lot of repeating the same thing. That 8-beat exercise we just did helps us a lot, because even though you are tonguing between every note, you're playing the same note for 8 beats. A lot. So that tone needs to stay consistent between every note. You do get the melody around 19, and that's important. So that's why they changed it to mezzo piano. It's a little bit bigger. And lastly, there are A flats in here. There are low A flats. Make sure you are not playing. It will sound weird if you do. So that is your homework for this week. You are to record the first 33 measures of this piece. Make sure that you do it consistently with a metronome at 80 beats per minute. I will now play it with the backing track, which I suggest you do as well, so that we know what it sounds like with the music. Starting at measure 3. Goes on to the next part. So that is your homework. Please record it. You do not need to record it with the backing track. If you would like to record it with the backing track, be my guest as long as I can hear what you are doing. If you have any questions, I am on GChat almost all the time. You can also just email me. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. And I will see you next time we Zoom.